go to Jeanine Pirro. As we said yesterday, the Trump administration officially moved the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem. They had a prayer session at the Jerusalem Embassy. They invited Pastor Robert Jeffries, who not only thinks that Islam is evil, that Mormons belong to a cult, Catholicism is a product of Satan's genius, and gay is not okay. But
did you say that thing about Catholics the other day, Matt? That Catholicism was a product of Satan's genius?
Yeah, but I was being positive about it.
Right.
He is, Jeffries believes that Jews are all going to hell. I think that there's some other, there's a small part of them that are going to sit on the right-hand side of God, but it's like a small amount.
I'm gunning for it.
Like BB?
Yeah. I've already...
No,
I've
you're
already,
not there, let's be real.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be there or not, but I've already put it in based upon... I have a doctor note about my eczema and eternal hellfire.
It's so uncomfortable down here.
Honestly.
We can't.
I think people know that the first exposure to heat in winter, sun, I get eczema. I have a doctor's note for this, so I'm just saying.
Excuse me, Satan, pardon me. I know you're torturing us and everything, but this is not humane.
I have a medical reason not to do the burning in hellfire. But it seems to be a little bit of, I guess at first blush, something of a controversial choice to have an evangelical who believes that Jews are going to eternal hellfire kick off the ceremonies at and John Hagee, who is also just an incredibly bigoted guy.
Back? Wow.
Oh yeah, they both apparently slated to give prayers at the embassy. And look, the bottom line is this.
Wait, may I just add? Isn't Hagee the one that said that God sent Hitler to hunt Jews?
I think so, among other things.
Among many other things, but just specifically in the context of this, that's one maybe worth noting.
Well, you should understand that this move of Jerusalem, of the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, is as much, if not more so, about Zionist Christians who are looking to bring about the end of days as it is right-wing Jewish donors. Sheldon Adelson may have gotten a W here, but at the end of the day, if it wasn't for the Hagees and the Jeffries, this wouldn't have happened. Here's Jeanine Pirro basically talking about how this was all prophesized.
Donald Trump sent Iranians who are the descendants of Persia a message to reflect on their own history, and that it was the king of Persia, who 1,000 years before Muhammad was even born, that said Jerusalem was the capital of the Jewish people's country. There will be no Ottoman empires or Shia nations that will destroy Jerusalem any longer. Donald Trump recognized history. He, like King Cyrus before him, fulfilled the biblical prophecy of the gods worshipped by Jews, Christians, and yes, Muslims, that Jerusalem is the eternal capital of the Jewish state, and that the Jewish people finally deserve a righteous, free, and sovereign Israel.
Wow. So he was like Cyrus the Great from Persia.
Totally.
Wait, does that mean that I'm now president of Persia too? There it is.
We need a historical homeland in Iran.
And like we said, at last count, 37 Palestinians, 37 Palestinians killed, 900 wounded when Israeli soldiers, military, fired on them for protesting this recognition by the United States. Completely, just really unnecessary and unhelpful.
But very intentional. I mean, this is
Well,
a
of
part.
course,
This is
of
a
course.
part of. No, I mean, but I know you know, but just to be clear, like as an example, there used to be And obviously, for decades, the occupation is one thing, the siege is another. There's mass, there's regular abuses, but they've actually shifted their policy. So, as an example, they used to say to their soldiers, like, if somebody has a Molotov cocktail, as an example, or a bottle rocket, and they drop it, they don't have it anymore. You can't shoot to punish them, as an example. That used to be, in basic accordance with international norms. Now there's actually military Israeli directives that if they had it 10 minutes ago, you can still shoot to kill them. So, this is a whole other sort of, and, I would also look at papers, at least going back a couple weeks ago with those protests, Israelis literally sitting in lawn chairs watching people get shot
with the
while they
sniper ended up killing members of the media and folks just wheeling tires around.
You just can't pretend that this situation isn't what it is. It's just really clear.